Okay, starting out, Byron Cowart has come to me numerous times over the last couple of weeks, disappointed in his playing time. Yesterday he came to me and said he wants to quit and pursue other opportunities. So we wish him nothing but the best moving forward. Uh, SEC play, very exciting for our team, for our players, our coaches that we're starting SEC play, going on the road against Missouri. And when you look at Missouri, they got playmakers on the offensive side of the football. They got a lot of speed at wide receiver. They got a quarterback that can throw it, and they're very explosive on the offensive side of the football. Defensively, Coach Odom has kind of taken over the defense. I got a lot of respect for him as a coach. He does a lot of good things. When I look at their defensive front is disruptive, and probably the biggest thing is just trying to predict, how they're going to play now that their coordinator is no longer with them and Coach Odom is calling the plays. But, overall, it's a good challenge for us. We're on the road in the SEC. You've always got to be prepared. Our message has been we got to get better each week, and now the SEC play is here. We got to play our best football. So excited for that. Questions?
Gus, how does the quarterback situation work now, Sean?
Yeah, Malik will be the number 2 quarterback, and we've been saying for a while that we feel very good about him and the way that he's performed in fall camp, specifically the scrimmages. Was very impressive, and he started out the first 2 weeks, and he was our number 2 guy anyway. So he got a lot of reps with the 2s, some with the 1s, and we feel good about him, moving forward if something would happen to Jarrett.
Will he play first opportunity, or will you still try to?
Yeah, I think now that he's the number 2 guy, you got to think differently, as far as that goes. And, I know he's up for that.
Who's the number 3 guy?
Right now we're working through that. We've got a couple different options. And then Ryan Davis is a guy that we're also going to take a look at with some snaps. He did some last year with that.
Is Jason Smith a possibility?
No, Jason Smith is going to stay on the defense side of the football for right now. I mean, if we had some injuries, with one of these 2 guys, that is a possibility. But, Ryan Davis will get some reps, at quarterback position, and he did that last year. So.
If Devin Adams.
Devin Adams is in the middle of that. He's in that conversation too. Obviously, you saw him in some mop-up role as far as that goes.
As a walk-on, what kind of type of player is he for you?
If you watch him, every time he gets opportunity to get in a game, whether it's spring game or whether it's the game, I mean, he makes plays. So, Devin's in the room with him, and, he at least knows the base offense. He's been spending some time with the scout team, and so he'll have to be more involved with that.
Is he a guy that you feel comfortable with? He's got to get out of the game, or hell, when it comes off and somebody's got to go take one snap?
Devin?
Like that.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He can run the base offense. The biggest challenge he has, he's been with the scout team the whole time. So, Chip's got a good plan for him, to be with the offense more than he has been.
Gus, in your statement about Sean yesterday,
Yeah.
kind of announcing the game, you said that he made some decisions that were not in the
Yeah.
best interest of the team or himself.
Right.
And I thought that or himself thing was kind of unusual for you. You usually just say it's a team violation, whatever.
Yeah.
Why add that?
Well, I mean, I feel bad for Sean. I mean, Sean's a tough guy. He's a warrior. But he made some bad decisions, and I hurt for him. And that's the reason I put that in there.
Same kinds of decisions?
What's that?
Is it the same kind of decision?
That's between me and him. I mean, that's between me and him.
Gus, the defensive tackle. Tyrone Truesdale's been a guy that's played some.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? He and Gary Walker, the next couple of guys?
Yeah, I think so. And Nick Cole's got the ability to come inside too. And, Truesdale's coming on. Andrew Williams obviously is already in the mix. So we feel good, and I think right now our defense is the number 2 defense in the country, and our defensive line has a lot to do with that. And, we feel good about that position, and we feel good about the depth there.
You said in July that in the last couple of years that quarterback depth has been the Achilles heel.
Yeah.
That you felt good about it now. Does that change at all?
Well, I mean, obviously, when you lose one of the guys that has experience, I mean, that's concerning. But at the same time, the opportunity that Malik Willis has now, which, we've been extremely high on him, and so, I mean, obviously, when you lose an experienced guy, it does affect your depth. But, you know, right now I'll say we got 2 guys that we feel comfortable with playing.
Is this a recent thing with Sean, or has this been going on for?
Yeah, all that's between me and him.
Just on a human level, you've had to dismiss prominent players the last couple of years, but Sean was someone that had so much respect in the locker room, was commended by coaches and players alike for years now, for his leadership and other things. Just how emotionally difficult was this, and for you, for the team, for everybody?
You know, just for me personally, anytime you got to dismiss a player, it's not a very good feeling. You know, so that's probably the best way to put it.
As far as the interception, I was kind of changing it
Yeah.
football, but the interception the other day that Jared was picked off.
Yeah.
Do you kind of fault Nate Craig for not fighting for that ball a little bit more?
You know, that was a boom play right there. The kid made a really good play. He broke on the football, but it's something that I know that, you know, Chip and Cody, you know, are working through the same type scenarios to be better next time it comes. But it was a boom play.
Gus, how do you practice not turning the ball over?
Well, you know, obviously when you turn the ball over 5 times, we got to make more of an emphasis of that. And so we will definitely do that. That was uncharacteristic of our team, you know, over the years. So the coaches understand that. There will be a high attention to detail in the ball security of everyone on the offensive side and everyone that touches the ball in special teams. And because, you know, anytime that happens, I mean, that's coaching. And that starts with me as a head coach. And the penalties and the turnovers, I mean, that's something that's unacceptable. And our coaches understand that. And it will be a huge emphasis moving forward. Not that it wasn't an emphasis before, but obviously whatever product you put out on the field, you know, you got to correct it.
I know we've asked a lot about only playing Karen Petway the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason for that beyond just you want to play him and that maybe Cam Martin's injured?
No. I think it was like, I think I answered this earlier, but it was more of, I think, how the game unfolded. And it was a close game, and I think the security of a veteran guy in there. Now, moving forward, I mean, you're going to see more running backs and Cam getting the game and other guys, but that was the thinking, you know, in that particular game.
Coach, given how he runs, do you worry about Cam's durability at all? Carrying that many times?
You know, what did he carry it? 2 games, 20-plus times, back to back. I mean, obviously we've got to take care of our guys, but like I said, as that game unfolded, it was a close game on a game that we should have won, and we should have won by more. So I think that had a lot to do with it. Now, KJ will be back this week, so that will definitely help with that. But, you know, Cam Martin is a guy that we know can go in there and do some things, and Malik Miller is a guy that we got a lot of trust in, too.
KJ 100%?
I'm not going to say he's 100%, but he practiced some last week. He practiced Sunday, and he's ready to play. I'm not going to predict right now, but I can't say right now.
I understand it was a close game and competitive for probably longer than you wanted, Gus, but and what Petway offers by way of security there, but is there a lack of trust almost in ball security with either Cam Martin or Malik Miller? I mean, it's still an FCS opponent. I understand it's close, but this is not an SEC team. This is not Oklahoma. This is an FCS team. If you can't put them in a 1-score game, then when are they going to see the field?
Well, like I said, I've answered that question, you know, twice now. That was the thinking behind that. It didn't have anything to do with, you know, our mistrust with the other 2. It was just a coaching decision, and that was the decision made.
Coach, you had it. Go ahead.
You're not a little bit concerned about the depth of the tackle? You know, you lost 2 guys, I guess.
Yeah.
Since spring practice.
Well, you know, I think Nick Cole having that ability to come inside, I think that really, you know, helps you with experienced guys, you know, playing.
Coach, you talked about the offensive line, what you're thinking going into this week's game.
Yeah, you know, Darius, you know, he'll practice today non-contact, and we'll see, you know, how he progresses during the week. You know, what you'll probably see if Darius can't play is something very similar to the way the game ended late. But we're hopeful that Darius will be back, and I think we'll know more probably tomorrow.
After reviewing film and seeing, you know, just one practice of cleanup, What is it about the running game that's being slowed right now?
Yeah, that's my biggest concern right now. I mean, we've got to be able to run the football better, and obviously Clemson has a great defense, and they shut us down in the run game. But last week we didn't execute like we need to, and we've got to do a better job of executing in the run game. Because you get in league play, you're going to have to run the football effectively to win consistently, and our coaches understand that, and that's really been a big point of emphasis.
Is that mostly with the offensive line you see it on film?
I'm going to just say it's an overall execution of everything, but we weren't able to run the football effective enough Saturday, playing the opponent that we were playing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Even with the turnovers, did you see a better tempo and
Yeah.
just kind of
Well,
energy?
yeah, if you can take out all the turnovers and everything that goes with it, there were some positives. In the tempo, we got some tempo going, and that was really a focus that we talked about last week as far as that goes. And then, of course, the in the passing game, the efficiency, that was also a positive too. So there was some things that I know that Chip can carry forward with the offense and as they're progressing.
Just from your standpoint, not just numbers, but how much has Jarrett Stidham progressed from the first game?
I think last week you saw when he has time. I mean, he's a very good operator with his progressions. I mean, there was a couple times when he hit Petway on checkdowns that was the fourth or fifth option within his read. But I think it's like I've been saying, that the more experience he gets, the better. I mean, he's still really a freshman as far as experience is concerned. And I even said that before the year, that we got to keep that in mind. And the thing about him is he corrects his mistakes. We didn't throw the ball way out of the pocket the first game or two. You saw him Saturday do that. So I think he'll continue to improve.
Coach, this has been obviously a rough start. On field, off the field, whatever you want to put it in a bowl. But how are you feeling about the group right now, considering things are starting?
Yeah, here's what you got to look at from a head coach's standpoint. What you got to look at is, the facts are you're 2-1, and the team that you got beat by, they may be the best team in the country again. You're starting SEC play. That's what we've really been building up for. And we got a new coordinator, a new quarterback coach, and they'll consistently get better and better offensively as we go. We got a very good defense. Like I said, I think we're second-ranked defense in the country right now. Our kicking game is solid. I think we can be better. But if we keep improving, we can play with anybody in the country. I do know that, and so that's the way I'm looking at it.
Well, any changes in the punter position?
I'll be able to tell you later in the week. I would like a little competition to go on in that position. We got to do better punting the football. I mean, we got to get the ball down there. And
Besides,
Daniel Carlson is a possibility, and then we'll see. But I'll know more later in the
It
week.
doesn't seem like Daniel has been quite in the groove as much as last year. Even the ones he's made. I mean, last
Yeah.
year it was like almost every one was just
Mhm.
well, even the ones he made, some of them have been close. Anything you can see?
Probably more than anything, he just needs to relax. I mean, he puts a lot of pressure on himself and trying to live up to the 2 years before. He just needs to be Daniel Carlson and loosen up and do his thing. And I think you'll see that, moving forward, he'll start to get in a groove.
Yourself and Herb Hand have said since preseason you felt like you have 7 or 8 offensive
Yeah.
linemen that could start
Yeah.
and be ready.
Right.
Considering there has been some struggles, obviously, have you been surprised by that?
Some of it has to been, we do have 2 new starters, and then one of our starters is playing a different position. So it does take some time, but I still feel that we do have that quality depth like we talked about earlier. And I think you saw a little bit of that, with Casey Dunn getting in the game, and then we had to move our center to right tackle.
That leads to my next question. Why every year does it take 3-4 weeks for you guys to get gelled offensively, whereas a lot of teams kind of know their identity, or at least are much stronger offensively to start the
Yeah,
season?
well, this year, I think a lot of it has to do with what I just said, about 2 new starters up front, and every year is different. There's been years that we got off to a good start. But this offense will be a good offense. I mean, there's no doubt, and they're going to keep improving, and you'll see that every week.
Gus, at least initially, did you feel like Jarrett was being a little too fussy with his throws, in the sense that he was looking for guys who were too open, he was scared to kind of throw into really small windows with Jarrett?
Well, yeah.
Did you feel like that was an issue, at least initially? Do you think he's making progress to that end?
Well, I mean, at first, I think that was his first game, to play in 2 years. I mean, so, and then if you look at his efficiency, I think he was 32 for 37, and that's pretty good. And so I think you can see him progressing each week. I thought he did a very good job last week, and he threw in some tight winners last week.
It's a long season. Do you worry about Petway breaking down with the amount of workload that he's been getting this first month?
I mean, you're an SEC running back. I mean, you can look back at Trey Mason. He carried it quite a few times, and Cameron Artis-Payne carried it quite a few times. And so, that's just the way it goes. Now, the fact that KJ's back will definitely help. And then the fact, too, that, that you'll see the other 2 guys on the field some, too. So we're sensitive to that with not just him, but any kind of player, the volume, if it gets to that point,
Anything else?
All right, thank you all.